2022년 2월 3일 밥 프록터는 87세 나이로 세상을 떠났습니다. 밥 프록터는 개인의 성장을 돕는 마인드셋 전문가이자 강연자 그리고 라이프 코치였습니다. 긍정적 셀프 이미지가 성공에 기여하는 가장 중요한 요소임을 많은 사람들에게 전파해온 것으로 유명합니다. 긍정적인 생각이 또 다른 긍정을 불러온다는 끌어당김의 법칙의 원조이기도 하죠. 누구나 들어봤을 법한 끌어당김의 법칙에 관한 책 시크릿에도 등장하는 인물입니다. 이번 영상에서는 밥 프록터가 강의했던 불안함을 다루는 기술에 대해 감상하시겠습니다.
Now, anxiety is a vibration, and it's not a very healthy one. It's a very destructive one. So I think as we start to understand some of the laws and understand how the mind works, we're way ahead of the game. So I'm going to share with you what a good doctor shared with me many, many years ago. And I have taught this all over the world now for a long, long time. Some of the change that I've seen take place in people's mind is mind-boggling. Their lives have been altered like night and day as they start to understand the mind, see how it operates. Now this good doctor, Dr. Thurman Fleet, he said, no one's ever seen the mind, so I'm going to draw a picture of the mind, and he made this drawing. Now, I will mention on many occasions, and have in the past, this is the most valuable drawing I have ever seen. The large circle is going to represent the mind, and the small circle will represent the body. Now, we'll take the mind and we'll divide into two parts, and we'll say the top half is the conscious mind, the bottom half is the subconscious mind, and the little circle is the body. Now, it's like I said, this is without question the most valuable idea I've ever learned. You see, what it does, it brings order to your mind. So instead of dealing with just confusion, now you've got order. Now I'm going to teach you something here that is very, very valuable. The conscious mind has the ability to choose. The subconscious mind does not have that ability. And whatever ideas operate in the mind are expressed through the body. The body is the instrument of the mind. Now, I can't get into this in the depth that I want to because the time doesn't allow me to do that. We do teach a lot of this in all of our programs because they're very liberating and they change people's lives. Now, there's the drawing, and I want you to imagine that there's a power flowing into your consciousness. This power flows to and through us, and it never stops. Now, when the power flows into our consciousness, we could call it thought power if you choose, you can think anything you want. You can think anything you want. No one can cause you to think something you don't want to think. Viktor Frankl spent the war years in a concentration camp. He was a Viennese psychiatrist. He wrote a marvelous book, Man's Search for Meaning, and it was on logotherapy. And he said regardless of the intellectual or physical abuse he was subjected to, no one could cause him to think something he didn't want to think. Now, whatever thoughts you think, you turn over to your subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind is programmed. And again, I'm sorry we don't have the time to get into paradigms the way we'd like to, but it is programmed. What we want to do is learn how to control the flow of this energy. We want to learn how to control the flow of thought energy and let it flow freely to and through us, improving everything with which it connects. You see, we're really in charge of our results. The results that we get in our life can be altered without any difficulty. You see those two symbols. One's negative, one's positive. Now, if we just back this up a bit, there is the power flowing in. You can think anything you want. You can choose to think of what you don't want, or you can choose to think of what you do want. You can look at what's wrong with life, or you can look at what's right with it. You do have a choice. That power, you can build it into anything you choose. Unfortunately, most people stay in an ignorant state. They never really understand themselves. Now, ignorance is simply not knowing. The opposite of ignorance, of course, is knowledge. Knowledge is readily available to us. Libraries are full of knowledge. Seminars today just dispense all kinds of knowledge. Some of it's very valuable, some of it may not be. But there's a lot of knowledge around about you, about what makes you tick and why you live the way you live. Now, we have a choice and we can choose whatever we want. You can choose to think of what's wrong, or you can choose to think of what's right. Why would a person choose to worry and doubt? Well, if we back it up, the problem is ignorance. That is really the problem. They don't understand the situation. See, doubt and worry are both psychic diseases. It's plugged into a negative side of life. This power flows in. You can build anything out of it you want. And what do? We worry. Why do we worry? Well, there's not enough money to meet our needs. Or the things might not turn out the way we choose. We've got the ability to choose anything we want. Now, when we build a negative idea, and that's what we're doing, we're taking this power and building a negative idea, we impress that negative idea upon our subconscious mind. The subconscious is the emotional mind. So we're getting emotionally involved with a negative idea. That sets up a vibration called fear. Fear is a negative emotion. The cause of it, the primary cause, is ignorance, but the root cause then is worry or doubt. Now, when that fear is expressed, and it must be expressed through the body. See, it comes in, it has no form. We build an idea, a negative idea, and we impress it. That sets up fear. And when it expresses itself in anxiety. People do not enjoy anxiety. It causes all kinds of problems. Anxiety is not expressed. Anxiety is suppressed. It's suppressed. What happens when we suppress anxiety, when we bottle that energy up inside? It turns into depression. That's what happens. So you see, anxiety is the cause of depression, but it's not the primary, it's not the initial cause. The initial cause, of course, is ignorance. And then we go to worry and doubt, then to fear, anxiety, suppress the anxiety, and it turns into depression. That depression turns into disease. That's a body that's not at ease. We get uptight. We suppress negative energy. The body starts to break down, disease, and then it moves to disintegration. Now pay attention to that side, because the root cause of it is ignorance. As you study this with us, you're going to eliminate that ignorance. And we're going to eliminate the ignorance with knowledge. So let's go back now. Faith based on understanding is the key to freedom. Let's suppose a person's locked into this side of life. They seem to worry about everything and anything. They're suffering from anxiety. They suffer from depression. Why? It's because of the choosing the wrong thoughts, and it's caused by ignorance. They just don't simply understand. Faith based on understanding is truly the key to freedom. You know, a wise king many years ago, Solomon, he said, in all you're getting, get understanding. How do we get that? We get it by moving over onto the other side. We move over to the other side. Understanding is the opposite of doubt and worry. Now, there's only one way to get understanding. There is no other way, and that's through study. You study this video, go over it and over it and over it, and you'll start to see this is really an answer to an enormous problem. Not just one problem, many problems. Study. What do we want to understand? Well, you have those two symbols, the negative and the positive. That represents a law of polarity. Polarity is the law that decrees everything has an opposite. There's no up without a down, no hot without a cold. So you see, in every negative there is a positive, but we must understand it's there, or we'll never even look for it. When we understand it's there, then we're away to the races. But the only way to get to it is through study. Understanding leads to the opposite of fear, which is faith. Now here's a strange thing. Both fear and faith demand that we believe in something that we cannot see. What did fear do? Fear manifests in anxiety. What's faith manifest in? Well-being. Well-being. You're seeing a person that's very relaxed. They're very cool. They're happy. They're healthy. There's something wonderful in their life, and it starts with their own thinking. You see, all down through history, all the great leaders have been in complete unanimous agreement on one point. We become what we think about. Well, why would a person choose to stay over in that ignorant side? That's the why. Because they're ignorant. They don't know. You see, when I was a little child, I was raised to believe that people that were rude were ignorant. Well, people that were rude may be ignorant, but being rude and being ignorant are two different things. They say they're just so ignorant. No, they're rude. Everyone's ignorant. Everyone is ignorant. No one knows everything. All the knowledge there ever was or ever will be is available to us. But we're going to have to study to get it. And the beautiful part about this, when you eliminate the ignorance, you get understanding. The understanding leads to faith, and faith leads to well-being. Now, where the anxiety is suppressed, well-being is expressed. You see, it's almost the polar opposite with everything. In fact, that is the polar opposite of everything. The expression turns to acceleration. And that is because we're at ease. You see, the at ease is the polar opposite to dis-ease. The body's at ease. It's vibrating in perfect harmony with the laws of the universe. This is such a phenomenal subject, and it's one that anyone can study and everyone should study. Then that turns to creation. Remember, the other side turns to disintegration. People just break down when they're in dis-ease. When they're at ease, they get stronger. It's creation. Now, we have a choice. We can go with that, or we can go with that. But it is our choice. Which side are we going to lock into? I think you do, and I think I do. And you know, I want to encourage you to watch this video at least 100 times. Get your friends to watch it. Anyone you see suffering from anxiety, get them to watch it. Rather than run to the drugstore, get them to run to their own marvelous mind.
우리는 매일, 매 순간 긍정적인 마인드와 부정적인 마인드를 오가는 불안정한 상태에 종종 놓이게 됩니다. 예를 들면 어느 하루는 매우 기쁜 감정을 누리다가 다시 슬프거나 우울한 감정으로 돌아가기도 하죠. 프록터의 말처럼 우리는 우리의 생각을 직접 지배할 수 있으며 믿음 체계를 의식적으로 바꿔 무의식 속 내면의 프로그래머화를 시킬 수 있습니다. 그러면 자연스레 몸도 건강해지고 질병으로부터 멀어질 수도 있습니다. 지금 당장 긍정적인 생각을 먼저 떠올려 보십시오. 구체적인 실행법으로는 이전 영상인 짐 퀵의 모닝 루틴에서도 언급되었던 감사일기 쓰기가 있습니다. 우리가 감사한 마음을 갖는 데 집중한다면 어느 순간 갖고 있던 불평불만과 부정적인 생각이 말끔히 사라지는 마법을 경험하시게 될 겁니다. 고인이 되어 우리 곁을 떠난 프록터를 얼라인즈가 진심으로 추모하며 본 영상을 제작하였습니다. 프록터가 남긴 수많은 명언 중 하나를 공유해드리고 영상을 마무리하겠습니다. 우리는 모두 우리의 인생을 설계할 수 있는 충분한 능력을 가지고 태어났다. 하루를 소유하고 인생을 소유하십시오.